Good morning, all. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Uh, Kicking off a nice weekend, I hope, for everybody. It's an unusual weekend at our house because the ladies here got their COVID boosters yesterday. So I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of caregiving, a caregiving weekend for me, perhaps. But we'll see. But I got books to share. I got uh, things to unbox. I've got new hardcovers that I purchased this last couple of weeks, my new single issues, and I just finished the Immortal Hulk Omnibus this Thursday night. So I've finished off a easily the biggest omnibus in my collection. And we're going to talk a little bit about all this kind of stuff. But let's say hello to the chat as we always do. Say hello to our friends who are hanging out with us. Of course, we've got the one and only Shop, king of the Shopverse, king of the John Doom and interrelated family kid Doom universe, the Avengers universe, the Shopverse. Good Saturday to you, Shop. I hope things have been going. I was in the Brian LCS breakfast with Brian chatting with him as well there. So thanks for coming on over here. Eclipse, good morning to you. Happy Saturday. Las Cruces, good morning from New Mexico. Good to see you. Hello, Adam. Neighbor to the north, happy Saturday. Hope things are going well in your neck of the wood. What is going on, Phil Ailing? Good morning to you. Michael Gallant, good morning to you. Happy Saturday. Hey, this is a wonderfully sarcastic, I'm hoping, comment about the final 5 issues in this Immortal Hulk Omnibus, because the final 5 issues are a Gamma Flight miniseries. It's a really, it's like having a great meal, eating an amazing dessert, asking for that little espresso or something at the end, and taking a drink, and it's like rancid milk in it or something. Like it's just like it's such a bad thing to end on. It's just a weak, sour note, like this amazing piano symphony piece played, and then the final note is off. You just hit that last note, and it's like wah, wah. That's the truth of the Gamma Flight for me. We got Lady Fantastic. What is on, Caroline? What are you doing? She says, top of the morning to you. Good. Hope that your Saturday's doing well, though it's almost noon probably on the East Coast where you are. Chaos is not sarcastic in the least. What is up, Rod? Just a weekend. Good morning, Rod. Hope your Saturday's doing well, sir. Okay, it sucks. We get it. So the rest of this omnibus, though, I was very pleased with, and I will. I will do a live stream going through it and talking about it because I have a bunch of friends that were reading this as well. But it's like second in line. So for those that don't know, this is all 50 issues of the Al Ewing run of Immortal Hulk, but it's also a ton of supplemental tie-ins and things like that. Absolute Carnage, there's the Gamma Flight miniseries. Let's see what else. She-Hulk, Immortal She-Hulk 1, Defenders, King in Black. So there's and the Avengers 684 when he climbs out of the grave. A lot of extra things in here. So it's in that 60 something issues in this one omnibus. So I will definitely be doing a live stream to discuss that later on. And it's second in line because I still have to do one for the new X-Men, the Grant Morrison new X-Men omnibus that I read over summer. And I have a bunch of friends that want to jump on for that. And I know that Chris from Chaos and Comics is one of those. So I got a couple of fun chats to throw in here at some point that I'll be doing in the near future. But yes, that is a fat daddy for sure. What is going on, JP? It's just me. The girls got their COVID boosters and they're sleeping in, probably not feeling 100%. I mean, just it's like Mjolnir. You could just lay it on somebody and they'll never be able to get up. They're just stuck. As far as the new books that I've purchased recently, like the new comic book day books I've been reading, There was only one this week, and I used it for my thumbnail. It was X-Men Blue Origins, and it's really just I don't want to say a retcon, but it is an expansion. How about that? Of the backstory of Mystique and her life. This is a great one shot. You could easily just, if you wanted to call this, Mystique's origin story retold, updated, here it is. I don't think they've really changed her in a significant way, but there are some odd things going on here. Some expansions of how she's related to Destiny and Nightcrawler and Rogue. It's all kind of in here in one tight kind of package, organized sort of chronologically for us to understand. So I thought this was a really useful issue. I was bummed I couldn't get the Virgin variant for this cover, because this cover is it E.M. Gist is just amazing. So I will be hunting down the 1 in 50 when it comes down in price. But this is a fun issue and a really great cover for sure. But that was the only book I got this week. I got some other friends in the chat. What is going on? We got Chris saying, Immortal Hulk just didn't get me like it did others. I'll finish it one day. Feels like typical Ewing to me. Most say it's his best work. All right. Caroline says, what if you were a new supervillain and your superpower was killing superheroes with a big omnibus? That would be pretty cool. We got Hoodat in the chat. How you doing, Hoodat? I hope your Saturday is going well, my man. Not too many kid soccer practice things to run off to, hopefully for you. I'm 1 month behind on X-Men and 2 months behind on Star Wars. But you read a ton, Chris. I think that you can't shame yourself for reading a ton of other stuff. Bronze Page, what's going on, Terry? He says, good morning, John. I love the comic reviews. Beware those Gamma Flight books from you. You like the Gamma Flight? So it's a 5-issue mini for those that don't know, and it's the very end of the Immortal Hulk Omnibus, and it's basically looking at this team that has been tracking Hulk all along and all the interrelated gamma radiated characters. So it ties in that way. Steve White, good morning to you. How you doing, Steve? All right, so that was the only book this week, that Origins X-Men Blue. Of course, I'm keeping up on The Incredible Hulk. I did a little video here on YouTube, a short, talking about the great artistic transformation of Hulk in this issue. It was really great. Immortal X-Men is almost done. It's been my favorite of the Hickman era. I think I'm willing to put it above Marauders now. Depending on how the last issues go, of course, it might impact that. But I think Kieran Gillen's Immortal X-Men has been just one of my favorite X books in the last 5 years. Easy. I got the second issue of Transformers, which still feels like it's really not for me because I'm not a big Transformers guy. I like the G.I. Joe kind of tie-in that they're teasing here, but I just don't know if this book is going to be for me. It doesn't really seem like it's found its heart yet. So I don't know what to feel about that one yet. S. Vaughn, what's up, Scotty? How you doing, sir? Good to see you this morning. Aggressively Relaxing says, I'm looking forward to reading that Mystique book. Love the weird lore around her character. I remember being so irritated with Mystique and Nightcrawler shared a scene next to but didn't talk. And so, yeah, this is an interesting way to address what is probably a convoluted backstory for a character, because at different phases in her, in the writing at Marvel, they were probably restricted as far as what they could or couldn't say about her relationship with Destiny. So ultimately, now we're finally to a place where maybe we can allow for the real story between those characters, something that I think all X-Men fans have always known about Destiny and Mystique, but that they couldn't explicitly say, because of the time in which it was published. What is up, Kenneth Bird? Good morning to you. Adam says, yeah, that sounds like Alpha Flight had some radiation accident. So the team, Adam, you're not off, is mostly Alpha Flight characters, right? So Sasquatch, like Lankowski, is definitely a big part of the Immortal Hulk story. Puck, right, is a huge part of the what's going on in Immortal Hulk. So you get Alpha Flight characters, but now they're studying gamma radiation and trying to help the Hulk And there's some new characters like Crusher Creel is in there, and Titania is in there. And so the team is a little different than purely an Alpha Flight team, but they are existing in a sense because they're trying to assist Bruce Banner with this new phase that he has found himself in. What is up, JD? Happy Saturday. Hope things are going well for you. Gamma Flight, Beta, Alpha, like all the flights, right? My last two single issues from the last few weeks, I've been trying to keep up with this new sensational She-Hulk story. I loved the previous run. Still not sold on this one, so I'm probably going to start just waiting for this to appear on the app and read it digitally, because that's how I read Rainbow Roll's last run on She-Hulk. Thanks to Sove Collector, it was phenomenal, and I really loved that run. Rainbow Roll did, I think, I don't want to number the issue, maybe 12 to 15 issues, and it was really, really great. Very funny, very creative. And then they ended it as Marvel does, and they rebooted it as sensational, and I'm not loving it as much yet. We'll see how that goes. But I want to keep up because it is the same creative team. So I have some hope. And the last one was one that my buddy White Whale Comics said, we should read this to talk about it for the best books of November. It's called Lotus Land from Boom Studios. And I haven't read this one yet. This is one I just snagged recently, so I'm going to have to probably read that this weekend so that we can talk about it in the coming weeks when we look back at the best books of November. So there you go. Those are my single issues. That's what I've been reading along with Immortal Hulk here. Put these back here. Like so. Let's talk about some collected editions. Let's see if there's anybody else jumping in the chat. Caroline's saying hello. She says, I'm not going to do anything productive today. I like that plan. It is a crime story, but I have not looked into it. I just heard some good things, and so it became like an indie to pick up and look at. What is up, Steve? Captain Comics, good morning to you. Happy Saturday. Hope your Saturday's going well. Whoa. Bumping some cords, knocking some things around. Hopefully did not disconnect anything. You can still hear me. Let's go with hardcovers. I believe I might have shared this one, but I wanted to make sure that I did. It seems that Image is producing hardcovers for the Savage Dragon, the original series. Well, I guess it's the one and only. So it's got this one has the mini series. And then it's got a few, 8 issues of the ongoing series. I'm hopeful that this number 1 indicates they will do several volumes, because I would love to collect a bunch of these. The price point is $39.99 retail. So if you have an LCS that gives you that additional 30% off or whatever, pretty reasonably priced. You're getting a pretty nice addition of a book that I really, really enjoyed. So my hope is that they do several of these and I can continue to add them to my collection, because they look great on the shelf. And then it's a great way to be able to read these books it's a little bit oversized. So you get a nice view of the art and the story and everything like that, which is super 90s, but that's part of the fun, right? That's part of the fun of it. All right. So that one I got a few weeks back, and I just can't remember if I shared it on here. I know I posted it on Instagram. Around the same time, my LCS got, in fact, the next few hardcovers I'm going to share, my LCS has been lucky enough to get a few collections of hardcover and omnibus. And so they've been posting them on Instagram, and they've been sharing it out like, hey, if you need things, we've got a few older out of print editions, whatever. And they were discounted because they were previously owned. So I snagged the Absolute Long Halloween. For those that know me, I have 2 all-time favorite Batman stories, and everything else is a pretty distant second or third, fourth, and fifth. Number 1 is Year One, and I got that Absolute edition last spring. And then the other one is The Long Halloween. and it feels like Batman Year 2 to me. So when I saw that they had this, I had to grab it. Absolutely. What is going on, Nigel? Desired Comics, happy Saturday. Hope it's going well, man. And Bronze Page Day says, what is the best run of Savage Dragon for you? I have the 90s 3-issue mini. I love the 3-issue mini. And I think ultimately, I mean, I collected almost all the first 150, I think, issues for, spoiler. One of the cool things about Savage Dragon is that the character and the universe age, meaning the character in issue 1 of the miniseries versus issue 225 has aged a ton, and he's had kids, and the kids have grown up, and the world ages with him. So the year of the issue when you buy it is the year the character is in time chronologically. The character has died. Issue 225 was the character's death, and now his son has taken over as the new Savage Dragon, and the story continues. And I think there's somewhere in issue 270 or whatever. So that character, the original Savage Dragon, has passed away, and that run with him as the main character went from the miniseries through issue 225. That was the big, finale for that character. I did not really read 150 to 225. I did not keep up. I have a bunch of copies of issue 225 knowing that it was going to be his death, and they had a lot of, word around it. I would love to read it all. So if they continue to publish these, it's possible I'll just get them all and then start reading the portions that I missed. My favorite stuff happens in the first 50 issues. That's probably my favorite stuff. So a lot of the battling with the Overlord and some of my favorite villains are in that section. Like the Fiend is a great villain. The Fiend is a villain who can feed off of your negativity and then, like, almost like a demon, like possess you and control you, and then, like social media or something, just really manipulate you. And it's a hard villain to just punch. That's a Hulk problem, right? You can't just smash the hate in somebody else. So I've always found the battles between the Fiend and the Hulk, or the Savage Dragon, very interesting. The Overlord being the more kingpin character who sort of is controlling the city, and their battles are very interesting as well. So yeah, I'd really, really dig that. That's where I would go. What is up, Gore Vidal? Last night watched a YouTube panel trashing X-Men Blue Mystique storyline. They were furious with the supposedly woke take. Many expletives. I noticed the channel lives in bitterness. Oh my God, muchísimas gracias. That is the quote of the day. I mean, I feel like I could just like put that in the description for this video as like hilarity for me, because truly, any X-Men fan that I have ever met, anyone, I've yet to meet an X-Men fan in person or on a chat hanging out on these shows who did not understand the love story between Mystique and Destiny was always there, even when writers weren't free enough to be able to discuss a lesbian character on a comic. So it's baffling to me that anybody would see her as anything but what she has always been in my eyes. Sarah, what's going on? Ariel Red is in our chat. What's going on? Ariel, happy to see you. Hope your Saturday's off to something fun, something enjoyable. Thank you so much for popping in. She and I chat Legos a bunch, and I wanted, actually, if she's still here, I was on No Good Comics channel the other day, and I finished building a Lego set that I didn't realize connected to another Lego set I already had. So this escape pod was what I was building with Justin, and I didn't realize that it actually attaches to the Guardians of the Galaxy spaceship that I had built and loved not too long ago. Now I got to reattach it. Sorry. So it's a piece that is part of the bigger ship. And I was like, this is, I just geeked. I just could not believe how perfect that this system came together. So I knew Ariel would appreciate that for sure. It got me all geeking on my Guardians again. Great, great movies. Those movies are amazing. I love them. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. It's a little bit over the top. We got Steve saying, trying to find book titles today for cover slingers from X-Men. I'm using an X-Men title for you, John. Ooh, I like this. Hit me up on Instagram. Let's talk. I'll see how I can help with that. JP says the absolute editions are super cool, but they're just so big. I don't have space to store them. And this is a great point, because on my bookshelves, I have a shelf just for the absolutes, because they are the tallest, benchmark on that shelf. Thankfully, I only have 3. I mentioned Year One. I have, Long Halloween I just purchased, and I have The Killing Joke. So those are the only ones I've got, but I do agree they are massive in size. So, compared to an average comic book here, I'm going to spoil that, but a normal sized comic book, they are significantly larger. So let's take a look at what the absolute Long Halloween has. Of course, it has the entire story, right? It has the entire story, right? And beautiful pages, lovely artwork, super fantastic. And at the back, whoa, when I get to the end here, it's got, it shows the action figures that they created for the Long Halloween and the sketches that went along to lining them up. It's got an interview with Jeff Loeb in the back here, so you can hear a little bit about Jeff Loeb. His thoughts on this amazing series and the Batman character in general. They've got a whole thing on the pitch, how they pitched this idea to DC, what they wanted to do and how they wanted it to look. Some of the rough sketches that they had done for different portions of the book. So that was a giant gun with a pumpkin in the barrel. All the different holiday covers. Because obviously it's a holiday themed event, and so they had to kind of come up with holiday themed covers for each issue. And we'll talk about the covers here in just a little bit, because I have a fun add on to that. And then that's it. Yeah, that's it. And then the back is the amazing Batman drawing. So they're gorgeous editions, and they're fantastic ways to read them. I respect and understand JP's point completely, but for these books, Long Halloween and Year One, I am just ecstatic to have these in the collection, and knowing how greatly discounted this was because it was previously owned. I was very, very ecstatic about that as well. Mr. Comics 89 in the chat reminding us he's got a knockout today between Vader and Venom, which means JP. JP's Poison Ivy. Who's Vader? I can't remember. Oh, we're getting towards the finale here of the series. So I know Vader and Venom are battling. I know Poison Ivy's battling somebody. I'm due on Wednesday to do Loki versus Doctor Doom. So Doctor Doom is going to crush Loki on Wednesday night. Be there for that. That's important. Thank you, Gore. Yeah, for those of us that really love a certain story, the absolute editions are pretty phenomenal way to really appreciate it. Aggressively Relaxing says it's the first day of the new Harry Potter Lego Advent calendar, and it gave us Harry being anxiety, a teenager with a hoodie on so that he could show how moody he is. You can hear the radio head. That's fantastic. We did not do a Lego Advent calendar at this house this year. Last year we did the Guardians of the Galaxy one, and I just feel like we peaked. I don't feel like we'll ever get better than that, and so I backed off completely. What's up, Rafust? How you doing, sir? Good to see you. We got Ruben Guzman. What's up, Ruby G? Good to see you. Vader is Chris the Comic Vet. There you go. Gotcha. Let's see. Vader versus Venom is interesting because they both recently became all-powerful, never-dying entities in their worlds. This could be a challenge. Born Again Gallery Edition is coming out next year. It's funny you bring that up. Let's see. Because let's talk about the other two hardcovers that I purchased recently, and I'll kick it off the way you asked, Gore. So, the beginning of the year somewhere, I got this, which is the volume 1, if you want to call it, Frank Miller Daredevil Omnibus. It collects issues 158 through 161 plus 163 through 191. Basically, what they're saying is he did 158 through 191, an amazing run. But one of those issues in there he didn't do. So that one's not included here. 162 is not involved. He also had a connection to the What If issue 28. So that's included as well. Really great omnibus. Very pumped on it. I was super happy. And I learned later, I don't know how I didn't realize it, that it's a part 1 of 2 omnibus set, because Born Again, Daredevil Born Again, is sold in a second volume that they call the Daredevil Frank Miller Compendium. My LCS had a copy of that for sale, and I got the compendium for that run. So this is the Frank Miller, David Mazzucchelli, John Romita, Bill Sienkiewicz. It's a little bit of everything, but it finishes the Frank Miller run, and it includes Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man 2728, Daredevil 219, then Born Again, which is 226 through 233. And then it has the Romita Daredevil Man Without Fear 1 through 5 and Daredevil Love and War. So, boom. These 2 volumes go together and they make a lovely little set on the shelf. This is the entirety of Frank Miller's Daredevil collected together. Now, the compendium obviously has stuff that's not just Frank Miller. It's Frank and it's Mazzucchelli, of course, but it's also John Romita Jr. and other things as well. But it's a great 2-volume set. The compendium is out of print, I believe, which is why I was so pumped to see that my shop had it. And I jumped on it immediately and was like, hey, save that one for me. I'll swing by and get it. So now I've got the complete set of Daredevil, Frank Miller, Klaus Janson, and David Mazzucchelli, plus all those extra amazing bits and pieces. So there you go, Gore. Now I'm all set. I do have the Born Again. I believe I saw my man. What is going on, Ryan? He's singing the theme song. I'm sorry, we're not petting a beagle anymore. We're petting cats, and the girls got their COVID shots, so they're relaxing later. Don't judge me, Matt. Don't judge. I hear your judgment in that voice. The one this year wasn't as good as last year. Which one was that? I'm not sure what Scotty is saying. The Daredevil is a birthday book for you. That's fantastic. That cover, a great yellow cover, but of course, Death of Elektra, just a great book. Great book. So many great covers in that run. Must have been hard to choose. I mean, this is the truth. Scotty picked that book up last year. Nice. Let's see. Who did I miss? Nice. At some point, I need to read that Daredevil run or any. Wah, wah. I mean, I personally, as much as I think it is the benchmark, because it revolutionized the character the same way Frank Miller's Dark Knight did the same for Batman. I generally feel like I wouldn't recommend someone read Dark Knight Returns first. You know what I mean? And I probably wouldn't pick the Frank Miller Daredevil as their entry point. I think I would probably pick Bendis or Mark Waid ahead of that. Just because as an entry point, if you started with actually it's Joe Quesada and Kevin Smith, but their run leads right into David Mack and into Bendis and then Brubaker and Waid. Like that epic story between all those talented people is a better jumping on point, I think, for the character than, say, the Frank Miller era. As much as I love Born Again and I love those stories, I don't know. It's hard to balance it. I know Gore is a big Elektra Assassin fan and Elektra Lives. And I definitely have those as well. You know I do. There it is. Daredevil's pretty good is a constant in the DC, in the universe of JP. Yeah. Magic Lasso says, I like the Daredevil with Black Widow as the co-headliner. And I do need to get more of those issues because I have not read but a couple of them. So I do need to read more of those. So those are some of the hardcovers and omnis that I've snagged in the last few weeks, minus one. And this was probably the one I was most excited about. And I got some chiding by a gentleman at my shop because he was mad that I got this before he did, because it's out of print and it's still in its plastic, which the combination of those two things is challenging to find. An out of print omnibus still vacuum sealed in its plastic. And I snagged Rick Remender's Uncanny X-Force, the entire story, 35 issues omnibus. And it also includes some other little tie-in issues. I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five tie-in issues to make it an omnibus of 40 comics. Now, I read this for the first time this year. Really got a chance to read this story from beginning to end due to the trades that I was able to snag. And in doing so, I just was like, I got to get the omnibus when they reprint this. Of course, they have not reprinted it in a very long time. Hi, girl. And instead, I just waited for a chance to snag it on the fly, and this was the perfect opportunity. Now, what I'm going to do to the guy who got mad at me at my shop is I'm going to give him all my trades, I think, so that he can reread those, and I don't need them on my shelf. This is a much more compact way to read and enjoy that saga, which is a great beginning, middle, end, standalone X story. I know that it feels like the X-Men universe is very cut off and hard to get into because there's no entry points. But I would argue stuff like Astonishing X-Men by Joss Whedon or Uncanny X-Force by Rick Remender are jumping on points that could work for people. And so, boom, I'm very happy. Very, very, very happy to get that. Let's see. I'm out. Got a show to prepare for tonight. Catch you later. Bye, Matt. Take it easy. Let's see. JP says, sorry, Gore. Just a character I never got into. No judgment. Gore says, I'm afraid once JP reads Miller's Daredevil, he may end up holding the same opinion about the character as he does for Scott Summers. Yes, Kitty Cat is running around. She's got the zoomies this morning, so she's making a break for it. So there you go, a ton of giant, oversized hardcover stuff. Thankfully, the sets of stuff that I've got here, I've read all of them, so they're not anything that would be first time reading, because I'm trying to be good about not buying a ton of stuff I've never read before. But we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out in the end. But that's just a goal. And speaking of goals, I am planning a live stream at some point in the near future. Just me going through my 2024 goals for collecting. Next year, what is it I want to do? Because I think my purchasing habits are going to shift pretty dramatically in 2024. I'm getting to a place. I was talking to Magic Lasso about my collection, and I just feel very comfortable with overall where I'm at. There's certainly keys I'm hunting and books I want to upgrade and a couple of runs that I need run fillers on. And there's always going to be an occasional omnibus that I need to buy. But for the most part, I'm at a really great place, and I don't want to buy a bunch of stuff over the next year. So my purchasing habits have begun to shift, and despite what you're about to see, all these omnis and things. So let's talk about what I have been buying. Let's get into some of that. I held this up a second ago, and the other day I saw this on No Good Comics channel. He had this variant for X-Men, Giant Size X-Men Storm issue #1. This was the B cover. And I was like, I somehow missed this. I don't even remember seeing this. I don't think it's Jen Bartel, but maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is. Yes, it is Jen Bartel. So I have it now. I have this book now. I didn't have it, and now thanks to No Good Comics, I have it. So if anybody else needs it, I've cornered a portion of the market on that one. So I'm sure for Throw Your Sets Up Saturday, you're gonna see that, for today on my Instagram. So be ready for that. So much reading to do, behind on my hardcovers and trades. There you go. I highly doubt Matt can reach that level of awfulness. Same here, John. In fact, I'm parting with many books and comics, keeping only the essentials. Yeah, and I think I've got 4 boxes of stuff that I'm going to probably be giving away, that I'll be keeping to trade with people that I don't need anymore. Short boxes of stuff, and I've got that now that the CLZ app has allowed me to kind of tabulate what I've got. I'm in the neighborhood of 3,600 individual issues, slabs, hardcovers, and omnis. I think that's plenty. I don't know that I need a ton more, so it's gonna stay pretty level. I have a feeling, hopefully. No, only 4 copies. Do you have enough to give away anyway? I don't know. What's up, Dale? Good morning, Dale. Happy Saturday. Okay, so yes, I did snag that variant, and I'm very pumped on it. Obviously, super excited about it. Last thing to share, I opened the box, but I have not gone through and studied these yet. So obviously you're going to get to see them with me. But Sove says, John, you need more. Hoard all the books. What is going on, Michael? Good to see you. Sove. Bobby, good morning to Bobby. De La Ghetto here as well. And Sove, I was actually mentioned you at the beginning of the show because I was going through my new books. And I'm not loving the new Sensational She-Hulk like I loved the previous run. I was just curious what your thoughts were. I think from here on, I'm going to read that digitally on the Marvel app. But I did get the first 2 issues because there were some amazing covers. But I'm hopeful that Rainbow Royale can kind of like turn it up a notch and get back to the groove that she was in for that first arc, which was so freaking amazing. Okay. So I think if I did this right, yeah. I've got a stack of books here that I bought from my friend, the boy who had 7, Matt. And what's up, Ryan? Riley's in the chat. What's going on, Riley? Ryan, sorry. It does not have the same smell, thunder, but I see it through. Okay. He was selling stuff, Matt, on his Instagram. He has a whole bunch of stuff that's still for sale, and I just threw it out like, hey, I would love to get some of these. What can we do? How do we make this work? And he helped me find a great deal on a bunch of stuff. He called it his Black Friday sale. And we were talking about the Long Halloween, and one of the things I purchased was an entire set of the Long Halloween. I've never owned these issues. I've read the trades, and now I have the Absolute Edition. I've never owned the Long Halloween. So he gave me the entire set. He allowed me to purchase his set of the Long Halloween. Here's the Christmas cover. Got Jolly Joker, right? Happy New Year's. So I've got now a set. He said one of the issues had like a corner tear or something, but I was like, I didn't need the issues to be pristine. I'm not slabbing these or anything like that. But he said the key issues are all in great shape. Here we got St. Patrick's Day with Poison Ivy. Love that cover. So freaking good. I don't think this series has any variants. It might have second or third printings that I don't know about, but I think that it's all just cover A's. April Fool's Day, of course, with the Riddler. Mother's Day. So this is a great series. If you haven't read it, obviously I've been talking about it a ton. Ooh, are those connecting in some way? Not quite. Mother's Day, Father's Day. Bruce. Independence Day. Little Catwoman cover there. So this was a great chance for me to really enjoy these books because I've never had them in person before. We got Labor Day here. So I love the crime family stuff in this story, but I also love the mystery. Even if it's a little outlandish and wild, it's just very, very entertaining. And then, of course, this great Two-Face cover, the Long Halloween Special. So good. Huge thanks to Matt for these because, yeah, to find a great set of the whole run, absolutely worth it. Huge boon to the collection. Now I just need to make sure I've got room in my Batman short boxes to fit it. Toby says the X-Men Blue #1 changes the game. I went ahead and bought the 1 in 50. Oh, Toby, you son of a gun. So I messaged my shop months ago. Nah, maybe not months. Maybe that's expanding. Let's just say many weeks ago, saying I wanted the 1 in 50. And they didn't order enough to get it. So I just have the cover A, or sorry, I was sharing at the beginning of the show. I have the trade dress version, which I used for the thumbnail. So good. But I'm going to be hunting that 1 in 50. I do agree the issue is a game changer and does have significance beyond just a single issue. So that 1 in 50 might hold its value. But knowing what I know from JP's budget collecting, if I wait and avoid the speculators who are paying or asking for $100 for it right now, I should be able to get it down to a normal price in the future. There's also a great 1 in 50 coming up next week with Storm on the cover by Russell Dodderman, I think. That one is also going to be an expensive book. So trying to get those 1 in 50s at a good price is the trick. So congrats to you. I hope you got a fair deal on it because that is a banger, and I do want that book. Meet me at the Denny's parking lot. Love it. What is going on? Good morning to you, Mr. Frog. He says, hey, you're looking sexy every time I see you. What hair product do you use? It's called Bedhead. I'll hook you up. We got Marcus in the chat. I hear he's going to be on the big show tonight. So if you don't know, tonight they're sharing the winners for the Comic Community Awards, CBCA. And I hear a pimp named Slaughter might show up. So it's possible you will get the big man, the big show tonight on the show. So be ready for more of that. I love Brian. The awards are fine. Like I don't really like participate just because it's not how I feel about awards in general. But Brian is an amazing guy. I'm going to be tuning in for the big show. I'm just telling you right now. That's what I'm tuning in for. Just be aware. That's why I paid my admission price. What is going on, Damien Sleepy Reader? Good morning to you. Happy Saturday. Hope things are going well in your neck of the woods. Excuse me. Pimp named Slaughter deserves all the trophies, all the prizes, That hair alone gave an inspiring speech uniting the comic book nerds worldwide. That's what I want to hear. Preach. Gore saying hello. Let's see here. What do we got? What are we going on? Okay. That leaves just 2 books to share. And then I'm going to go get my coffee and do a little reading, load all this into the CLZ app and make it all look pretty. So first up is a book I had purchased from Matt a long time ago, The Boy Who Had 7. He was holding it for me, waiting for me to fill a box, basically. He's like, and all it says on the back was newsstand. I forgot what it was. He had a newsstand of the first time we get to see Tim Drake in the Robin costume. And I don't have this issue. I never had this issue. I've got the first appearance of Tim Drake, but I don't have the first time he's in the Robin costume. So this is a cool book and a nice, those 90s newsstands can be a little tricky to find. So, and it's in great condition as only The Boy Who Had 7 would have it. So this was a great snag to add to my Batman collection as well. And one more DC book, homies. I have this issue. If you know it in the chat, this is issue 182 of Green Lantern in a nice Mylar. Ooh, he sent that looking crispy, looking good. super sharp. Anybody know the? I know there's not a ton of Green Lantern fans in the chat. Not a ton of people loving on the old GLs. But this is a. I saw that he had this super cheap, good price, and I was like, oh, another book to add to my Green Lantern collection that I really want to get. No, never. I bet none of them are Cormac McCarthy books. No, it's definitely not. And JP's looking to upgrade his Tim books. Some are super low grade, found in dollar bins, or in the case of you and I, we could have been reading some of those off the shelf. When those first appearances were happening. Norm Brayfogle art on that Batman. I would not have known that, but there's his name right there at the bottom. Brayfogle. There it is. Newsstand. So this is the first time this is when we get to see John Stewart joining the Green Lantern Corps and getting his Green Lantern uniform. So he officially joins the Corps. I'm going to open this one up. I've never had one of these issues. Ooh. I'm not wearing my gloves. The back cover has some chipping, some discoloration, but it's not too bad. Looks like Hal Jordan riding his Jeep through the woods, doing his thing. It looks like he's had a tough time of it lately. Sorry, poor Hal. The roller coaster of Hal Jordan's life. There we've got our guy, John Stewart, best Green Lantern in my humble opinion. Let's see. Looks like he's talking to Hal. He's meeting Hal, having a drink with Hal Jordan. Couple of Air Force guys. Wait, were they Air Force? Oh goodness, now I've really messed myself up. I can't remember which branch of service. No, he was not an Air Force guy, was he? No, John Stewart was not Air Force. He wasn't Navy. Was he Marine? I think he was a Marine. Now I want to say Marine. So there's some fighting. Oh, there's some stuff going on here. Looks like this is Flash Force 2000 thrown in the middle. John was a Marine. There it was. Boom. I was right. Yay. I said it and then I instantly questioned it. Here we go. This is the panel we wanted right here. The reveal of John Stewart as the Green Lantern. Hal Jordan. And they're like, what? No way. How could they give the ring to John Stewart? No way. And then there he is, flying through the air. Our guy. So minor key in the scheme of Green Lantern greatness. And it's in decent shape. It's probably a mid-grade copy of the book. But one I didn't have, one I'm happy to add to the collection, and definitely gonna look nice and pretty in the short box there. So, woo! Some great goodies from my man, the boy who had 7. Stuff that I've never owned. Stuff that fits with all the collecting that I've been doing. And now I'm set. So that's the whole kit and caboodle, my friends. Remember, if you want to find some stuff from the boy who had 7, you can find him on Instagram. He has even an Instagram just for selling things. The boy who had 7 sells comics. You can follow him there as well. I'm going to put all this stuff away, but I am going to be trying to determine what omnibus or hardcover to read next in a sort of JP style. And I've got to kind of figure out what that's going to be. And I believe I texted a list to my man, Magic Lasso. So, I sent it to him on Instagram. But I'm going to say hello to Bueller. First, what's going on, Bueller? I hope things with your dad are going well. I know that you've been in the health roller coaster a little bit with things going on with your dad. And I'm hopeful that things are getting a little bit better. Let's see here. Okay, so here are some of the omnis and hardcovers that I've been looking over upcoming. Sleeper by Ed Brubaker. Essex County by Jeff Lemire. Gideon Falls, also Lemire. I have one pocketbook for Strangers in Paradise left, and I think I'm going to hold on to that and wait to Christmas, but it is I'm itching to finish the original run of Strangers in Paradise. Deadly Class. Speaking of gore in my chat, I do need to finish Deadly Class. I have not done that yet. Sandman, the original run of Sandman. I've got to do the second omnibus. So I've got that omnibus waiting for me. And Catwoman of East End. This is a Darwin Cook and Ed Brubaker story where Catwoman is in London. And I need to read that one as well. So those are all high on my list as options. And I'm just going to sort of think it over. I'm fairly sure I'll do all of them at some point, but all of those are ones I have never read or finished at this point. And I know JP and Gore, I knew they would be chiming in, but I know that they were very happy with Deadly Class, and they've been doing, the indie show has been discussing them. So those are the hardcovers I've got to choose. Now that I've finished Immortal Hulk, I'm going to spend some time doing some live streams on the 2 Omnis I've read already this year that were new to me, and then looking ahead at what ones I want to read next and kind of deciding how that'll go. So you feel free to leave a comment either in the stream, or if you're watching this on the replay, leave a comment on the video and let me know if any of those really resonate with you, like Deadly Class resonate with Gore and JP. And I'll have to see which ones I end up picking. I'll probably put some polls up and just kind of see what people, because ultimately whatever I pick, you all are going to have to suffer through a ton of shorts and reels of me discussing this, whatever it is, because that's what I'm going to do with whatever I read. So any of those that I pick will instantly become fodder for my entertainment. So you should have a say in this as well. So I appreciate those of you taking the time to let me know. Let's see. Sove Collector said something. Let's see here. He says, the Boyo at 7 only sells really nice books for extremely reasonable prices. He's a stand-up guy. I fully agree, and that's why I was very happy to snag a bunch of this. That Hal Jordan Saga team up is going to be rough. Uh-oh. Watch out. Let's see here. There was a YouTuber who had the same visceral reaction to Hal Jordan as JP for Cyclops and me for Brian K. Vaughan. I mean, Hal is a troubled character with many flaws. Absolutely. So just, we all have to kind of deal with that. Thanks everybody for coming by. I'm going to go get my coffee and start putting this stuff away, but I'll be in and out of chats most likely all of today. And maybe tonight I'll do my 2024 look ahead video or something and go live after Brian's all done. Late night for the East Coasters or normal evening for the West Coasters. But until then, I appreciate everybody coming by and hanging out and chatting with me and going through my books together. And we will catch you guys all again soon. Peace.